don't believe you. Get that energy way up. Are you ready for your next comedian? This guy is a local. He's been killing it all over. He just got back from Thunder Bay. Please a big hand for Roland Penner.
Surprise! I just got back from Thunder Bay, apparently. It's good to be here. My wife just dropped me off a few minutes ago, and she said, as I was getting out of the car, she looked up at me and she said, "Have a good show. Don't be sad." Which I think is pretty good advice for a comedian, eh? Don't be sad. I guess people think we're never sad, but I just came back from Thunder Bay. I'm gonna be sad for a while. And I got pulled over by the cops, which is a new experience for me. I'm not used to that. Never happened before, because I've been driving for a long time, but when I drive, I'm always really white. So I wasn't expecting the questions. The questions he asked me were just weird. The first question he asked me was, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" And I was like, "Because you're a cop?" Which is the right answer, but not what he was looking for. And then he said, "Do you know what the speed limit is here?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I mean, it's Portage Avenue, so it's 50 or 60 or 70. And he said, "Yeah, it's 60. Do you know how fast you were going?" And I had to admit I didn't. I said, I don't know exactly, but I'll be honest, it felt really fast." And he said, "Well, you were doing 16 kilometers an hour." Oh, no wonder. No wonder. And then he said, "Have you smoked marijuana by any chance?" And again, I had to be honest and admit that I had. He said, "About when?" I said, like 1984. And he said, "That's not going to count. But how about in the last 4 hours?" And I said, "Well, I don't know what time it is." He said, "It's 8 o'clock. I said, "Well, in that case, no. And more like the last 2 hours." And he said, "So would you say you're high right now?" And I said, "No, of course not, obviously. Like, don't be ridiculous. I mean, I am, but not high enough to say that to a cop." Which is why my wife dropped me off here a little while ago. She has to do the driving for a while. She's great though. She supports me in everything I do. The other night we were going to bed and I was going to put my earplugs in my ear, because I wear earplugs to sleep so that I don't wake up from the snoring. Not her snoring, mine. And I couldn't find my earplugs. They were nowhere to be found. I finally had to dig through my drawer, get 2 more plugs, and then I went to put them in my ear over the earplugs that were already in there. And I was like, "Oh shit." And she said, "What?" I said, "How long have these earplugs been in my ear?" She said, "I don't know." I said, "Did I go to work today with earplugs in my ear? Did people talk to me all day and I never heard them? Am I going to go to work? What if I go to work tomorrow?" I said, "What if I go to work tomorrow and everybody looks at me like I'm an idiot?" And I go, "What?" And they go, "Why are you even here? Did you hear yourself get fired yesterday?" And I'm going to feel like an idiot because I could have just stayed home in bed. And my wife said, "How much did you just smoke?" And I had to admit it was quite a bit. Gotta love that legal weed. That's all I have to say. Gotta love that. So I've been married for 35 years. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, not all to the same woman. That would be nuts. We've been, my wife and I have been together for 18 years. We have 2 beautiful children. The other 4 just average. We have 6 between us. We do have, well, 3 of them are hers, 3 of them are hers, and 2 of them are mine, and the other one, we're not sure. It just showed up when we were moving in together. I thought it was hers, and she thought it was mine. We both didn't want to look like we hadn't been paying attention, so we didn't say anything, and it's way too late now, because that was 18 years ago. Also, it's by far our best kid. So, the number one question people ask us is, what's the worst thing about having 6 kids? And the answer to that is easy. It's the food issues, right? One of our kids is gluten sensitive, so no flour. One of our kids is lactose intolerant, so no milk. One of our kids is deathly allergic to fish or nuts or something, I don't know. So no fish or nuts or something, I don't know. And one of our kids is vegan, or as my wife calls it, a fucking vegan. So it's tough figuring out what to cook. When my 4th kid sat me down one day and said, Dad, I have to tell you something really important. And I said, oh, that can't be good, but I'm your dad. You can tell me anything you want. I'll probably still love you. And he said, and I kid you not, Dad, I'm transgender. And I went, oh, for fuck's sake. Please tell me this is not going to affect what you will or will not eat. Unfortunately, he said it wouldn't, so I was like, well, then we're good. So, here's the thing. In the late 1980s, if a reasonably competent doctor handed you a baby and said, congratulations, Mr. Penner, it's a girl, it really didn't occur to you to go, ah, maybe we should reserve judgment. Maybe we should wait and see. I would now, but I didn't then. I mean, we just gave the kid a girl's name and everybody went happily on their way. Except the poor kid who was just completely fucked right from the get-go. I mean, that's a long time ago and doing well now. He's got his shit together and he's a writer. He's writing a memoir about growing up gay and transgender in Steinbach. Called Just Completely Fucked Right from the Get-Go. People often say to me, I don't really understand the transgender issues and gender identity things. Like, I don't understand people who have those kinds of issues, and I can see how it's a little confusing. But you know what kind of people I don't understand? People who have cats. You can choose not to have a cat. You can just do what I do. Every week I go to the cat store, I look at all the cats, and I go, I don't fucking want any of these. And then I go home. So, here I am, never had a cat. Never had a cat. I tell other comedians sometimes that I do jokes about the fact that I have a transgender son, and they go, oh, that's risky. Whoa, you can't do jokes about that kind of stuff. Some of my comedian friends complain a lot about how the woke movement, the Me Too movement, have just ruined comedy. Can't make jokes about anything anymore. And I'm like, I don't think that's the case. I still make jokes about everything, and I seem to get away with it. I say, you know who ruined comedy for me? Let's be honest. It was Louis C.K. Because here's the thing, right? Okay, after the Louis C.K. thing, everything changed. For 35 years, I could sit in my dressing room anytime I wanted, have a woman in there, be on the phone with a woman, and if I said, and I could go, do you mind if I just jerk off for a minute? But now when I do that, it's just awkward. I told one of my friends that joke, my cousin actually, and he said, just don't worry about it. I mean, if Louis C.K. ruined masturbation for you, that's too bad. But just be glad you're not like a movie mogul or a billionaire, because Jeffrey Epstein and Harvey Weinstein would have ruined everything for you. I think this might be a good place to stop. My wife, I always say to my wife, I don't know when to end my sentence. And she said, you know what you should do? You should end them just before you do your stuff about pedophilia and rape. So this will be my spot. Thank you. You've been great. It's been a great show.
One more time for Roland Penner, everybody. Your next comedian, you probably will recognize him from his appearances on Sirius XM radio or Just for Laughs.